Everything was going well in my life. I had a job, a relationship, health. And yet I felt something was missing inside. And then it all started to fall apart. Today, I want to share with you a deeply personal story about what I experienced when my world began to fall apart and what I came to understand as a result. You may be asking yourself, is there more to life? I haven't found the answer in books or in the opinions of others. I found it in my inner silence. And it is about this journey that today's story will be told. Sometimes it seems to me that all our lives we are guided by a kind of invisible thread that pulls us through joys and pains, successes and failures, until we stop, look around and ask ourselves a question in silence. Is there more to life? I have not always asked myself this question. For a long time I was like many others. I lived by what was supposed to be. Study, work, earn, build, secure. And while I was doing all of that to some extent, something deep inside me remained empty. The more I achieved, the more I felt I was going somewhere I didn't really want to go. Like I was climbing a ladder leaning against the wrong wall. Everything started to break the moment the three pillars I had built my whole life on collapsed: health, relationships and work. First came the health problems that made no sense: the pain, the exhaustion, the fatigue. The doctors couldn't find anything. Then a long-standing relationship fell apart, without much drama, more like a kind of internal emptying between two people who had nothing left to give each other. And finally, the project I'd put my whole heart into collapsed. I stood on the threshold of emptiness, and yet I felt that the emptiness was not a punishment but an invitation. It wasn't about regretting something or fixing something in an external way. It was an inner voice, quiet and deep, that led me to change direction, not to run, but to return to myself. I began to look back on my life and ask questions I had previously forbidden myself. What did I really feel at important moments? What was behind my decisions? How much of what I did was based on love and how much was based on fear, pride, or the need for approval? One of the most pivotal moments for me was the experience with my father. After years of silent estrangement, I visited him when he was ill. We sat together in a small hospital room, and for the first time I saw in his eyes not a father, but a man tired, wounded, fragile. In that moment I realized how many years I had carried resentment for things that had long since ceased to matter. I forgave him, and even more powerful, I forgave myself. Not because of him, for myself, because I understood that hate and hurt are not real wounds, but shadows of our inability to love. It was only then that I began to understand that life is really about more than external achievements. It's about a transformation of consciousness. It's about transforming pain into understanding, pride into humility, judgment into mercy. It's about an inner alchemy where the heavy lead of life can be turned into the gold of spirit if we commit to it. Looking back, I can see exactly how life responded to my inner attitudes. When I was angry, the illnesses intensified. When I cultivated regret and resentment, I lost strength. But when I began to give sincere thanks, even for what hurt, and accept things as they were, my body, relationships, and circumstances began to change. Not right away, but surely. One night when I woke up from a restless dream, I felt a strange silence. It wasn't an external silence. The boiler was humming in the house, the wind was coming from outside. But inside it was completely silent. Clear, pure, peaceful. And with that silence came a realization that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. And that the more I try to grasp it with the power of reason, the more it eludes me. But when I surrender humbly, without resistance, it opens up before me in its genuineness. I've been trying to live differently ever since. Not that I've given up on the world. I work, I communicate, I create. But I try to make every decision I make out of love, not the need to control. I'm not always successful. There are times when I slip back into old patterns, into criticism, pride, wanting. But today, I can see that. And I know that even that is a journey. Not by fighting the mistakes, but by graciously coming back to myself, again and again. A line from an old writing often echoes in my mind: "Be still and know that I am." I don't take it as the utterance of some God separate from the world. I see it as a reminder that deep presence, silence and awareness are within us. And that true home is in the ability to be in alignment with this silent self. Sometimes I meet people who have everything: health, money, success, and yet they are restless, empty, full of fear. And other times I meet someone who lives modestly, perhaps suffering, and yet exudes a deep peace and calm. The difference is not in the circumstances. It is in the level of consciousness. It's in what one lives. Not what he owns, but what he radiates. When I feel myself slipping into turmoil, I remind myself, everything I experience is a mirror of my soul. What irritates me shows what is unhealed in me. What upsets me reveals what I don't want to accept. Every situation is an opportunity not to attack, but to understand. I began to perceive even illness differently. Not as enemies, but as messengers. When my back ached recently, I first looked for the cause in movement. But then I noticed how much resentment I was carrying towards one person close to me. How many unspoken words and repressed emotions. And when I acknowledged, experienced, released and blessed it within myself, the pain went away as subtly as it came. And so today, when someone asks me what I think life is about, I don't say, happiness, success, fulfillment. I say, it's about transformation. It's about returning to love. Not the romantic, dependent, conditional kind. But the quiet, deep kind that is not of this world, but can flow into it through us. It's about more than comfort. It's more than the truth that satisfies the ego. It is about the truth that liberates the soul and that often hurts. But it is worth it. The longer I walk this path, the less I know, but the more I trust. I can't see far ahead, but I can see where I need to step right now. And that's enough. I've stopped looking for meaning in life as something fixed. Instead, I ask myself every day, how can I love more today? How can I forgive more today? How can I be more grateful today? And so a quiet certainty settles within me. Yes, there is more to life. More than what is seen. It's about the invisible that gives meaning to all that is visible. It's about the consciousness that transforms reality. The love that conquers death. And sometimes, in those rare moments of silence, when I stop, close my eyes and just breathe, I feel the whole universe breathing with me. And that in that one breath is everything. All of life. The whole truth. All of God. And that's more than enough. Today I know that life is not about what I have, but who I am becoming. That true healing comes when I look inward with love into the pain, into the pride, into the gratitude. And that even in the darkest moments, there is a light waiting for me to see it. If today's narrative spoke to you, perhaps it is because there is a quiet question in your heart as well. Is there more to life? Believe that there is, and you've been carrying the answer inside you for a long time.